guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. As for my guy, he is 70 years old. He is a father and grandfather, and he is now, after 31 years of marriage, happily divorced. Yes, 30 years of marriage, and at 70 he got rid of her. And why did he get rid of her? Well, because the same crap that happens to the rest of us who are in our 40s or 30s and 50s, aside from the disrespect, she was a big giant cheater. Yeah, in her 70s. And this guy's going to go through all this detail of a journal he had of everything that went down to share with the brotherhood here, the community, of what to watch out for, as well as making the point that the same crap that can happen to the rest of us that are younger can happen to dudes that are in their 60s and 70s. It's the same darn thing. Doesn't make a difference where you are in the world. Age is all the same thing. And it really is definitely an interesting take he does in this whole thing. But before I get into it, real quick, guys, I'm now back from vacation. I appreciate all you guys being patient, because I didn't do as many videos as I normally would, but I was in Hawaii, island of Oahu, had a great I highly recommend doing it if you can. Get a convertible, cruise the island, see Pearl Harbor, the whole 9 yards. It was a blast, and I appreciate your patience. But I'm back, and it's now March 2nd, and we're roaring away with videos going forward. So it starts off, says here, it's been a year since I started the journal. It seems that the time is right to close it out. I have just returned from helping my niece close down her art booth in an entertainment section of the metro city that we live close to. A year before, there was an incident with my ex's phone behavior at the same event. Bookends, so I start with the end. Okay, so all this crap started this time a year ago. A lot of guys like to write in their story after a year after when it began. I'm 70 years old, and she is 71. Married for 31 years. Her second marriage. We've been divorced since June 20th, 2025. This is legally called a dissolution of marriage. Nice language for finalizing a civil contract mixed with finances and emotions. So you discovered all this. The process started on March 2nd, 2025, and you were already divorced by the end of June? Damn, dude. Almost all contact has been severed since, by my choice. There is still a lingering financial commitment from a business interest, but it has a time limit. Yes, I did initiate and pay for dissolution. It has been a journey of 31 years. I divorced due to infidelity and drug abuse, but that makes it sound simple. It never is. This betrayal has been a mixed blessing in my life. Well, man, from what you described, it sounds like a major blessing to me. You got rid of her finally. And yes, I said finally. The thing about betrayal is that it does not announce itself. It hints. It leaves fingerprints. It changes the air in the room. No, my ex did not admit to infidelity nor drug abuse. In fact, she vehemently denied it. So how do I know? There are always tells. Guilt has a voice. The truth leaks. Well, they never admit it. Of course not. You're going to get all sorts of BS and gaslighting and drama, usually tears. And then it comes out. She projects, she deflects, she uses dismissive language, gaslighting. The intensity of the denial is confession. Just dear friends with another man, a friend, her old boss, over explanations to reduce suspicion. Reacted defensiveness, guilt mixed with fear, missing an unexpected or unexplained time. Missing or gaps in electronic communications, not available for phone or text while out and about, redefine identity expression, new music, new clothes, mirroring behavior, mysterious UTI, lying, paranoia, zero accountability. Technically, this is just what I consider to be the metadata. So all what you described, sir, has happened time and time again in the stories I've covered. 2,000 plus videos on this channel alone, not counting the other channels. Yeah, all that stuff. See, they're all the same. He says, a famous line that I like to use, change illuminates structure. My intuition led me to this, even when I did not want it to. If your gut screams, do not ignore it. It is the universe trying to communicate with you. Your brain is using pattern recognition and sometimes are out of the usual or expected pattern. If you have spent any time at all with someone, you know when they change their mood, their habits, their language, even their smell. Well, after 31 years, sir, I can imagine. Yes, I always tell you guys, trust your gut, listen to it. Once you really start paying attention, pattern stops hiding. The right person will never require you to be a detective in your own relationship. They will make the truth easy to see, not impossible to find. Trust your intuition. In other words, trust your gut. Well, what changed? Unexpected stressful force changes. COVID, the baseline behavior. Pattern changes always tell the truth. After my 5-day COVID hospital stay in January 2022, I was mostly forcefully retired from the business I built from scratch and had been dedicated to for the last 12 years. So I spent a lot more time at the house, away from the office, with my long-term COVID effects. She spent quite a bit of time being my chauffeur, taking care of me and running errands. Lots of them. This unintentionally gave me the opportunity for observation. And I bet during taking care of you, she probably resented every single minute of it, because a man's never supposed to ever get sick or go through hardship or be down. Nope. He's supposed to care to her. Well, her old patterns and freedom were now compromised. The errands gave her space. I just spent a long time recovering from COVID, and that enabled her to let her guard down because she thought I was not in a mental state to not notice too much. Yes, she was impacted strongly emotionally when she thought COVID would take me. Yes, she could not be sure that I would survive my long COVID. Statistics were not on my side. And no wonder she went to her affair partner for comfort. I don't know, man. I think she didn't care. Based on what you're going to describe of your marriage and her behavior there, I don't think she cared. In fact, no offense, but she probably was thinking deep down, hoping maybe I'll take him and I'll be free. Seriously. Because the way she behaves, I have to think that. An unexpected forced emotional life change. An emotional push that drives intimacy. Not any single behavior convicted my ex. It was the compounded behaviors, the leaking and the lying. I did not understand all the signals until I decided to document and then research my observations. Dude, it is so cool that your gut was telling you something, so you started a journal of everything, all the strange behavior and all that, so then you can then go back and research it, consult it, and then, this is what we have. Awareness without accusation. I did have to concern myself with my long-term COVID effects, both physically and mentally. When instinct whispers, measure twice. Only in hindsight do things become obvious to me. There were no obvious photos or videos, no obvious text, message, or logs, only smoking guns. She's not a fool. She knew I wasn't IT Spock. She knew I didn't use any social media. I was researching private investigators to verify my suspicions when I learned that does not influence the divorce. None of the lawyers I contacted had a PI or one they could recommend. They told me it did not matter. We live in a no-fault state, so I just moved to the divorce. Well, obviously PIs will help if you are in an at-fault state, but they're also going to help you make the decision, because your gut could be telling you everything is wrong, but you may not have any concrete evidence. That PI, although it may not affect the outcome of the divorce because you're in a no-fault state, that PI can get you information that can confirm why you're getting rid of her. And not to mention, when she tries to, spin the story, you have this evidence to show family and friends and all that. What I really learned is that no one really cares about infidelity. People look at me with pity, not because of the betrayal, but because I'm so naive about this common fact. It has been enlightening watching others' reactions. The wives that will no longer look at me in the eye, the men, the flatter, the response from them, and the quick change in the subject. The more guilt they telegraphed. From friends I knew had cheated, and some friends I will never have expected. Damn. To be fair, I know and understand why my ex did what she did. In the beginning, I did not really care. Seriously. That can give you some idea about how far our connection has deteriorated. She had killed off any emotional connection that we had early on with her passive-aggression behavior, disrespect towards me, contempt, and jealousy. Of course, my snoring drove us to separate bedrooms, and SCX became work, not fun. I did actively reject her. There was zero intimacy. Conscious emotional abandonment by me, the ticking time bomb. That could only have had one result, and I knew and I expected it. So you weren't surprised when she was cheating, but still you couldn't allow that. Well, given what you described here, people could probably go back and forth on, what came first, the chicken or the egg. Did you become distant from her and treat her like the old ball and chain, like she was nothing because of her being passive aggressive and disrespectful and full of contempt and jealousy? Or did she behave that way because of what you did? I gotta ask that. But regardless, that's no fucking way to live, man. And I know you know this. And obviously there's other factors. You know to have children because you're a grandfather, so obviously you had children to produce those grandchildren. Maybe you stayed for them. I don't know. But it's just a shame that 31 motherfucking years you spent with her being that unhappy. It's not worth it, guys. We did not have any communication between us beyond business issues and grandchildren. Again, why stay married? What pushed me over the edge was her arrogance, financial abuse, and then the lying. Selective amnesia. Lying and loss of memory breaks tolerance and any minimal connections. I did not need to fix anything, I just need to release her. Easy to say, harder to accomplish. We could have worked out an accommodation, but her disrespect, ego, arrogance, and lying were just too much for me to continue on with. Yeah, man, you're 71 years old. I mean, let's be honest here. Most of your life is over, and you have no idea when your number may be up. So you want to spend your final days with an asshole like that? Fuck that. Get a dog, get a cat, spend time with the grandkids. You can find good purpose and good things in your final years, my man. I'm being honest here. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. I mean, you're 71. You can live to be 100 years old, but still, the older you get, the more of the probability something can happen. She could have ended this whole thing with honesty. She could have acted with dignity. Fat chance, amigo. She could have asked for a divorce. She had taken a vow. Once the vow and trust are broken, the foundation of any kind of connection is destroyed. At the time I started this journal, she was already planning and preparing to leave, trying to manufacture and accuse me of some underlying undesirable behaviors, and it was just too much. I did finally have an emotional response, and I did take action. Well, better late than never. There are always the questions of the financial ramifications. I started financial separation planning when she became too obvious and when I was midway through my journal. She kept more than her share. She kept all the cash. She cherry-picked the household goods. The house was split unevenly. There was no ongoing maintenance or spousal support. Her debts are her own. We each kept our own personal retirement accounts and Social Security, though mine took a hit to split the property. Friends of mine have asked what I got from the divorce. My reply is peace. Yes, exactly. That is what all guys, well, most guys, some guys are fucking drama queens, but most guys, the older we get, it is true, we want peace and quiet. That is it. And, enough money in the bank account that we don't, that we can sleep at night. That's really about it. Peace and fucking quiet and enough money in the bank account that, we know we're okay. Not much to please us beyond that. I mean, seriously. The older I get, the more I'll be left the fuck alone. People are assholes. And I think a lot of you agree with me. The younger guys, trust me, in time you're going to see the way I do. To wit, the humorous expression of my ex. What are you doing at home? You are ruining my retirement. I thought this was funny. It was even a joke in the business office until it became too obvious and serious. This was just a clue of truth disguised as humor. The behavior of using a spa, which was the extent of far corner of the metro city from where we lived. Why so far away? Plenty of choices much closer. There are plenty of hotels in that part of the metro. Not much chance of running into anybody we know. There are no local hotels where we lived. That part of town was not one I frequented. I never knew it was a 45-minute drive or an hour-plus drive away. It changed all the time. The amount of time that it took at that spa changed from 45 minutes to over 4 hours. This is obviously her time she's having an affair. Oh, I'm at the spa for 4 fucking hours? I began to realize that there was almost always 2+ hours unexplained time gaps. Well, maybe she's abducted by aliens. You never know. They were doing the anal probe. Although I think old guy Chatter Tyrone was doing the anal probe with her. This started at least 10 years ago. Whoa, shit. Well, you said you didn't really care. Just as I was very busy with my new business, it takes more than 10 years to burn off her facial blemishes. She was always very suspicious if I was anywhere near that location. When I finally had an appointment at the spa after our separation, the staff there almost panicked. Very strange reaction. I never went back. So your studying of things makes you come to realize this has been going on for 10 years. But you obviously didn't know what was going on 10 years ago. Okay. 10 years. Change of shopping habits after COVID that centered on the county seat of the East where we lived, also 20 miles away from home and on the way to and from the spa. Quite dramatic after COVID, or at least as when I really noticed. Convenient CBD and THC outlets, even nail salons, which we had closer to our hometown. In fact, the one nail salon was a customer of my business. She changed the use of the salon right after COVID. This county seat was also in the opposite direction of home and not much chance of running into anybody local. Also, there are many choices for hotels there too. I really thought there might have been an apartment or place that she had a key to that she could not explain. She did give up a key after the divorce, still without any memory of what it used to be and what it was for. How convenient. She's 71 years old and she can be like, oh, I just don't remember. It must be dementia coming in. Bullshit. This also shows you guys just how slick and sneaky they can be. Well, you must always keep your guard up, paying attention, all that. Well, the excessive use of CBD, or THC, as soon as it became legal in our state. She changed from nightly Scotch whiskey drinking to gummies and smoke. Her truly addictive tendencies. She used to cough so much that I thought she had an underlying viral infection. I noticed this is at least a full year after I caught COVID. I used to sneeze quite a bit when she passed close to me while I was in the house. Well, that was nice. You didn't marry someone that did this, and now she starts taking it up. At one time, I thought it might have been coffee brewing, but that did not fit for my late-night sneezing. This was almost a continual daily use. In the evenings, in the mornings, in the afternoons, even while driving. Of course, she absolutely denied this, but the slurring of her words and her facial distortions gave her away. The facial distortions were almost stroke-like, easy to lie about, not easy to hide. Weight loss. Dramatic changes in her eating habits. Use of weight loss drugs from the spa. This started when she started physical fitness in the suburban town 20 miles to the north. That dropped off during COVID. She even bought quite a bit of DB method exercise equipment. Retirement physical renewal, ? Never ever before was there any desire or inclination for this, but why now and for whom? She's in her early 60s at this point, I guess. And suddenly she's into working out and things like that. If she had a health scare that you knew about, then that'd be kind of understandable. But no, she's doing it to make her physical appearance look better for her 60s. It's usually for a guy. Same shit they do in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, and their 50s. Of course, the weight loss necessitated new clothes. Her taste in clothes changed to t-shirts and jeans. A rough, mannish look. Not one that I ever picked out or helped her with. I was never asked. This was not normal. I was not even shown the new clothes until after she wore them for somebody else. She did not show off her new look to me. She hid it from me. Change, illuminate structure, just not a normal behavior. And yes, of course, new underwear. Nice matching lingerie that I never saw, and that was also hidden from me. Dude, I don't need to hear about your 60s and now 70-year-old ex-wife and her freaking lingerie. Yeah, maybe she looks fantastic for her 60s, but I still don't need to hear about that. I only ever saw the granny panties underwear in the laundry. She even remarked that at least one set of lingerie was one that she was emotionally attached to during our confrontation. Lingerie would disappear when she was out or away. She hid almost all her clothes and intimate wear from me in the laundry. Just the minimal laundry left out to allay suspicion. I did find a perfume smell on one of her bras. She did not wear perfume around me. I did not know she owned any perfume. We did not use perfume laundry soap nor dryer softeners. See what happens when somebody is so used to not getting caught, they start slipping up. And one could say, in a way, she didn't care to cover her tracks anymore because she wanted out. I think she probably wanted you to find these clues so you could divorce her and then she can blame you. That's probably what was going on. New hairstyle. And a change from a normal 1-hour appointment to a 3 to 4 hour appointment. 3 to 4 hours at the fucking hair salon? I know they like to spend time there gossiping and all that, but 3 to 4 fucking hours? Not available via phone, voice, or text during that time. A style and color that I would not have picked for her, but she never wore her hair for my preference after our first year of marriage anyway. In fact, it was just the opposite of what I suggested on purpose. Are you saying after your first year of marriage, she never really did anything to look good for you? Sir. And you said she's divorced. You're her second marriage. You were probably her guy that she married for stability and structure. Because I don't know if she had kids from their previous marriage. I don't know if she was a single mom that you married. Probably, given her behavior. The use of dilators away from home. Yes, they were sometimes used as a clitoris vibrator. Oh, great, I really need to imagine that. But why take all of them? 6 of various sizes with her when she went out of the house. Not just when she went out of town for the grandchildren. She has 6 fucking vibrators and she takes them with her when she leaves. Use of makeup during strange times, at least from my standpoint. Is this the glow up? If she did not leave the house, why did she need makeup? For the video or the visitor or a canceled rendezvous? At that level, it was not for me ever. For any occasion, I did not think she needed it. Makeup is not about stress. It's about attention. Yes, even at her age, she drew attention from most males. Well, they always crave attention and validation. It doesn't make a difference in their teens, 20s, or their fucking 60s and 70s. The same damn thing. Well, he said she got a lot of attention from most males. So obviously she was exceptionally good looking for her age. And went to her head. iPhones and iPads. These devices became dramatic and constant attachments to her body. Ding, ding, ding. Never left out in the open, she became vicious when I asked about the timing of the dinging. Why did she need both her iPhone and all iPads while in the tub? Strange timing of contacts. Yeah, she's probably talking to dudes and pleasuring herself while she's in the tub. Always removed herself from my presence when her iPhone and iPad ding. Who dings at 4 o'clock in the morning? Not the stated political ad. When did she acquire and hide? The personal cell phone number of her old boss. Just in the past 2 years, and then delete the messages after I found out. She always had his work cell. Why did each additional grandchildren iPad devices disappear whenever I just used them to charge them up? Why were there gaps in her text messages? These extra devices were hidden from me afterward, not just put away. All these signs that you document are as obvious as can be. But you said yourself, you really didn't give a shit for a long time. I mean, it was just... Talk about a cliche. But finally you had enough. I'm glad you had enough. Multiple digital personalities. Multiple email addresses. 5, hidden online management. Very protective of her Google photo albums. Hidden photo albums. Projection onto me when, where, and whom I could be meeting with. Oh, she's giving you a hard time about where you're going, who you're meeting with, all that. Classic example. Change in music that is listened to and singing along with interesting cheating ones. Using the Spotify app on her phone for this. Was there a shared playlist? Probably. The behavior of taking a bath immediately as soon as she came home from being out and about and not getting too close to me, immediately changing clothing and no telltale laundry. Because she's washing any scent of that dude or dudes off of her and her clothes. Now, obviously, you guys aren't close, but still. See, guys? All the same stuff you hear about all the time. The idea that when I could recite her phone number from memory, she reacted so negatively that she said that she needed to get a new number. My name is associated to that account, and that was strange. She did get a new phone shortly after that. I kept that number and had the account changed to her name only. Hiding of credit card and payments. Hiding of bank accounts, use of Venmo for payments, hiding of timeshare pitch. I knew we'd be getting into the financial issues eventually. Starting of reorganizing pictures, clothes, keepsakes, hiding and lying about the process, not making future plans together. Excessive travel times to and from the grandchildren visits that lived 3 hours to the south in Arkansas, just about 2 hours, 2 extra hours on average, about every 2 weeks on average. Lying about simple and insignificant things, at least from my perspective, gas, laundry, trash, etc. Story of explanation inconsistencies, excessive explanations of innocent activities, paranoia. Attempted love bombing after the affair contact. There you go. There was no love bombing at all during your marriage, but after she's caught, all of a sudden, she's on you like white on rice. Etc., etc. It was all documented in my journal. The appendix had important information for me about text messages, phone numbers, and financial records. My journal is just a long, sad story. I won't bore you anymore. I'll give you my last statement to her. I said to her, "You are cheating, you are lying, and you are done." The end. So there, guys, there you go. That is his journal of a year, tracking all her suspicious behaviors when he started to give a shit about her suspicious behaviors. And now our guy is free. Well, sir, I hope you have a long, long life, and you deserve to enjoy your freedom and peace, because that's what you said, you want peace. And I understand that, and a lot of guys here understand that. It's just so unfortunate you spent so many years with her, with her treating you like crap. But you said yourself you really didn't give a crap, but we can go back and forth on that. But now is your time. Your grandchildren, doing the things you enjoy, and I guarantee you that when things don't work out with her lover, she will be back. Guarantee you she'll be back. And she'll probably claim she doesn't remember anything, blaming dementia or some bullshit like that. But we shall see. But anyhow, good job on the journaling and all that. Good job on getting rid of her. It shows you guys never too late to get rid of an a-hole. And I'm piecing together, because you said you're her second husband, I'm piecing together that probably she was a single mom. You didn't mention that, but I'm guessing that. And so that does not at all surprise me. Doesn't mean all single moms are going to behave like her. Let me make that clear. But a lot do. And I think you were just her safety net. And look how she treated you. And for some reason, you thought it was a good idea to stay with her. You didn't mention, I'm guessing it's probably because of your children and then the grandchildren and all that. But still, guys, life is short. And so if you're in a shitty situation like this, for heaven's sake, get out. It's not worth it. But anyhow, sir, what's done is done, and you're a free man. And I thank you for sharing all that. And as you can see, guys, all the crap that you hear about from affairs and problems that happen to guys in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and up, same thing. Gals in their 60s and 70s. So, sir, good luck to you. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.